Hey there, I decided I would have a blue-eyed filter on for today's day 1158 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world, corporate world of business, to the online world of business and just online world of fun and games, I like to call it. So today, our challenge, or our little growth challenge to do one thing every day that centers us, our 365-day challenge for this year, was about taste triggers, things that trigger us. And we can be triggered by all different kinds of things, right? We can be triggered by something we hear, we see, something we taste, something we smell. Any one of our senses can trigger a memory in us. And I was thinking about my grandmother's Christmas cookies, or just cookies. My grandma made the best cookies in the whole wide world. And one of my sisters, my youngest sister Betsy, has learned to replicate those cookies. And every time I taste one, I'm immediately brought back to my grandma and grandpa's house, and my grandma's kitchen, and playing Farkle, and watching baseball with my grandpa, or playing outside, or going for walks in the park. All the things and all the great experiences I've had with my grandparents. Now they both passed away. My grandma passed away a little over a year ago now, and she was just shy of her 100th birthday. She was 99, just I think a month and a week or so shy of her 100th birthday. And so she was a part of my entire life up until last year. And there's a lot of things that trigger my memory of her. Now, triggers, taste triggers, we're talking about taste triggers in particular, can be positive or negative. I have taste triggers, and even just the smell of it, I don't have to taste it, of whiskey triggers a negative response in me. Because when I was younger, I got tipsy and sick on whiskey on a dare. So, alcohol dares small people, not a good combination. But lesson learned, right? Lesson learned. To this day, I do not drink anything whiskey. So I was thinking about triggers, and in particular taste triggers, right? And I was just imagining and thinking about different things that have triggered me with respect to taste. Only with respect to taste, so we can keep it simple and go back and remember positive things that we taste that move us in the direction we want to go. So if I want to have my health go in the direction I want it to go, I'm going to associate and let trigger positive responses with the foods I want to eat, and negative responses to the foods I don't want to eat. Now, I know how to do this, but I'm not going to do it with caramels. Sea salt caramels are the one food that I know I should ruin for myself, but I absolutely refuse to. I have ruined a lot of other foods for myself, like chocolate. I don't love chocolate because I knew that I was eating too much chocolate when I was younger. It wasn't good for me, and I wanted to get rid of it. I did the same thing with diet soda. I did the same thing with coffee. For 5 years, I gave up coffee because I believed it was bad for me. And then I found out, lo and behold, it's actually good for my blood type, so I started drinking coffee again. And this happens to be a bulletproof coffee because I haven't had one for a few days, and I'm like, oh, I want a bulletproof coffee this morning. So out comes my positive associations and taste triggers for bulletproof coffee, for coffee in general. But we can do this with things that we want to have more of in our life, or things we want to minimize in our life, experiences and things that we've had that were maybe not good. I suppose if you got, I'm trying to think of some examples that would be bad. If you tasted metal for some reason, if you, I don't know, got in a fight or bit down on some metal or something, and the taste of metal could be a trigger for you. So what are some of those triggers? What triggers you in both a positive and negative way with respect to taste? I would love if you'd share those in the comments below today, just to see if I'm the only one that is triggered by different tastes. Our idiom for supersize your business today, for some reason I'm thinking of triggers, because this one, it didn't trigger me, but it was one of the more challenging ones for me to come up with examples and tying it to business. Now, it's not really a tough one to tie to business. It's two's company, three's a crowd. It's a proverb, of course, from at least 1546. There wasn't really, my research didn't really yield a true, here's the origin of this idiom or this expression, here's who said it first. But it has appeared in several different books of proverbs. For example, John Ray's 1678 English Proverbs book. I think it was on, it's a collection of English Proverbs, like page 471. Me and my silly references, things that I remember. And it's appeared in a lot of those, but it hasn't, there's not a real clear delineation to, okay, this is who said this first. A lot of expressions and sayings are attributed to somebody, and then you find out, 50 years later that that person never really said that at all, and it's really someone else that said it. Ben Franklin's gets credit for all kinds of sayings, most of which he said, but some of which he never said. Who else is another one like that? Lots of people do. Einstein is credited with saying a lot of things that he never said. And we see memes go around the internet. And of course, if it's on the internet, it must be true. People believe it if they see it in writing. People believe it if they hear it in the media, which is really pathetic nowadays. But, we have to contend with that. That's why I don't watch the media. I don't participate in mainstream media as much as humanly possible. Now, you turn on your electronic device nowadays and you're automatically seeing on a subconscious level, even if you're trying to consciously ignore it, all of this nonsense, all of the stuff about COVID, all the stuff about politics, all the stuff about racism and all the isms and all the craziness that's going on in the world. It's just in our faces. And it's not the positive stuff that's in our faces. It's the negative stuff that's in our faces. And the reason I stopped watching it and stopped participating is because I realized, oh my God, the only thing we're ever seeing is negative. Do I want to feed my mind negative things constantly 24/7? Absolutely not. So I don't participate. Once in a while I get sucked in and dragged in like everybody else, but I try to just catch myself. The sooner I catch myself, the happier I am. But I'm human still, right? We all get sucked into things we don't want to necessarily participate in. So those were our idioms, or our challenges for today. Also did a little preliminary just invitation to people to join the next and probably the last free 30+ day Get Up and Go challenge. Starts tomorrow, April 1st through May 1st. Since I'm traveling in May, I wanted to get that and knock that out, because I said in February that I would do another one in April. And when I say I'm going to do something, I absolutely positively find a way to do it and make it happen. Even if things change, once I've made a commitment, I'm going to make sure I stick to that commitment. And one of those was to do the Get Up and Go challenge again. Now I'm feeling like COVID's been with us for a year now, and we needed to get up and go and change last year, and even early this year. I needed that February Get Up and Go challenge as much as anybody else that participated in it, because I let myself kind of fall off in January. And usually January is a huge positive month for me. So I was a little disappointed in myself that I had gotten sucked into some of the negativity and some of the media nonsense and circus. I will call it a circus, because it's definitely been a circus over the last several years, not in a positive way, and not in a way that's contributing to society, in a way that is absolutely positively detrimental to our way of life, to society, and to the American people as a whole. I mean, our media companies are doing such a disservice. Yeah, they're making themselves fat and rich and happy, and they are proving to us that we really don't need them. There's a whole lot of people just like me that are saying, click, no thank you. I don't need you feeding my brain propaganda and nonsense. If you can't tell the truth, which is why you existed in the first place, was to actually be journalists, research topics, and share what was going on around the world with us. And decades ago, it became a circus for ratings and money and greed and power and information. Not information, but manipulation through information. And it's there's millions of us turning it off and saying, no, I will think for myself. And as long as there's people that will think for ourselves, the world will be fine and a better place. So that's my little triggered diatribe on that, I guess, today. So Get Up and Go challenge starts tomorrow, traveling in May. Have not figured out yet how I'm covering my production and my daily content for that period that I'm traveling. I was thinking that the trip was going a different direction. It is, but I got my itinerary and it's going the opposite of what I thought. So now what I was planning, I have to just flip around and do it a different way. But I'll figure that out. I've got plenty of time, and I will get it done. I did it for a cruise and a trip to Texas in 2019 before all the corona craziness, so I can definitely figure out what and how I want to do it now. It'll probably involve a little bit of pre-recording. I'm not sure. I'll do my What's She Up To Now every day while I'm down there. Not sure they'll all get posted in a timely manner. We'll see. I'm looking into maybe getting someone to help me do the posting part of it while I'm away. That would be kind of awesome. And it's something I've probably needed to do for at least a year, maybe longer now. But I put off for all kinds of reasons, all kinds of what I considered valid reasons. But what are reasons? Reasons are just excuses. That's a really interesting way to look at when we're giving and saying reasons why we can or cannot do something. They're just excuses, right? And when I say they're excuses, it gives me a little ding to say, all right, am I being honest with myself? Or do I know I should have done it? And all these things roadblocks I put up in my own way to prevent me from doing the thing I say I want to do are just excuses. They're not reasons, they're excuses. And what do we do with excuses? Stomp them out, right? Just like false beliefs and things. We figure out ways to replace them with the truth for us, our truth, right? The most important truth in the whole wide world is your truth. And sometimes it's hard for us to look ourselves in the mirror and say, oh, yeah, I've been doing that for 15 years. Boy, oh boy, was that silly. We don't beat ourselves up. We just realize we have this aha that, yeah, I've been doing this thing for 10 or 15 years, and I'm still doing the same thing I've been doing for 10 or 15 years. And it's maybe moved me a teeny tiny bit, but the needle should have moved this far by now. So maybe I have to, instead of worrying so much about, I'm not there yet, I have to say, okay, what are these things that I've been doing on a consistent basis, thinking that they're moving me toward what I want, but they're just moving me in teeny tiny baby steps, or worse yet, they're actually blocking me from what I want. We all have those things. All right, that's all I've got to talk about today. I'm going to go get about my day. I've got a gazillion things to do, as usual, and I'm excited about them. So I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Have an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below or direct messaging. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Bye. Take care. Have a great day.